My life took a turn I never expected, one that felt straight out of a movie. I thought I had it all. A lobing wife, a comfortable home, and a future that seemed bright. We'd been married for 5 years, and while things weren't always perfect, I believed our bond was strong enough to weather any storm. I was wrong. The storm that hit wasn't just a storm. It was a hurricane that tore everything apart. And it all started with a text message I wasn't supposed to see. It was a Tuesday evening, just like any other. My wife, let's call her Sarah, was in the shower. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand, and the screen lit up. A message from a name I didn't recognize. Curiosity got the better of me. I told myself it was probably just a work thing, but a nagging feeling in my gut told me otherwise. I picked up the phone. My heart sank as I read the words. It wasn't a work colleague. It was intimate, filled with inside jokes and plans for a future that didn't include me. The argument that followed was the worst of my life. Words were thrown like knives, and the home we'd built together became a war zone. She said she needed to be happy, and she wasn't happy with me anymore. The one I'd bought with my own money before we even met. The one registered solely in my name. It was a classic muscle car. My pride and joy. Something I'd poured countless hours and dollars into restoring. That's when something inside me snapped. The sadness turned into a cold, hard anger. She didn't just break my heart. She stole from me. She took my trust, my future, and my property. I sat there for a long time, staring at the empty space in the driveway where my car used to be. I could have just let it go, written it off as part of a messy divorce. But no. This was different. This was theft. Plain and simple. I picked up my phone and called the police. I calmly explained the situation. My car had been taken from my property without my permission. I had the title, the registration, all in my name. I reported it stolen. The officer on the other end was professional and took down all the details. They issued an all points bulletin for the vehicle. It felt surreal, reporting my own wife for grand theft auto. But what choice did I have? She had crossed a line. A few days later, I got a call. They had found the car. It was parked outside an apartment complex 2 towns over, the same complex her new man lived in. Apparently, they were pulled over for a routine traffic stop, and the license plate came back as stolen. You can imagine the scene. Sarah, trying to explain to the police that it was a misunderstanding, that it was a marital dispute. But the law is the law. The car was in my name, and she had no legal right to take it. She was arrested. The legal battle that followed was intense. I filed for divorce, of course, but I also pressed charges for the theft of the car. My lawyer advised me it was an aggressive move, but I was determined. I wasn't doing it just for the car. I was doing it for myself. I needed to stand up for myself, to show her and the world that I wouldn't be a doormat. I wouldn't let someone walk all over me and get away with it. Her defense was that she felt entitled to the car, that it was a marital property, but the documents didn't lie. The title was clear. The court proceedings were draining. Seeing her across the room, the woman I once promised to love forever, now facing criminal charges because of her actions, was a heavy burden. There were days I questioned if I was doing the right thing. Was I being too vindictive? But then I would remember the betrayal. The note, the empty space in my garage. This wasn't just about a car. It was about respect. In the end, the judge sided with me. The evidence was irrefutable. She was found guilty of unlawful use of a motor vehicle. It wasn't the harshest penalty, but it was a criminal record. The divorce was finalized, and because of the criminal conviction and the clear evidence of infidelity, the settlement was heavily in my favor. I got the house, a significant portion of our shared assets, and of course, my car back. Getting my car back was a symbolic moment. As I sat in the driver's seat for the first time in months, I felt a sense of closure. It wasn't a happy victory. Not really. The entire process was painful and left scars. Divorce is never a win. But I had reclaimed a piece of myself. I had refused to be a victim. Looking back, the whole ordeal taught me a lot about myself. I learned that I'm stronger than I ever thought. I learned the importance of setting boundaries and standing up for what's right. Even when it's the hardest thing to do, the path to healing has been long. I had to rebuild my life from the ground up, learning to trust again, both others and myself. It's a journey I'm still on. Some people might say I went too far, that I should have been the bigger person.